All right, y'all. So in Nikke, there's one character that I feel like I have not given much love to realistically since she came out. And if I remember correctly, this character came out last year. So it's been a year and I've really kind of like, I don't want to say neglected this character, but I low-key neglected this character, right? I'm going to be real with you guys, right? And if you're wondering what character that is, if you can't already tell from the thumbnail and the title, it's Miss the Killer Wife. This is the only character that I've really neglected when it comes to Burst 1. Like, if you guys see all the other supporters that are good in this game, I gas them up like no other. But in this game, I just never ever gas it up like the Killer Wife to that extent where I'm talking about her nonstop, making videos about her nonstop. Even when it comes to my showcases, you guys probably never seen that many showcases, probably like 3 or 4 in total after this character release of me actually using this character on field and stuff like that. And it's so crazy because the Killer Wife is a really good character, right? So today we're going to be showcasing our Burst 1 support. That is a really good character. Gonna break her down, test her out with some teams and all that stuff, right? Now I have a secret. There was something about this game that I never knew. I never knew what it meant, and you guys are about to clown me. Right, before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe and like, and if you want some, merch from Nikke, go ahead onto gotchaware.com, link in the description. But there's one thing that I just learned about the other day, about a week ago, and that's what a crosshair was. I never knew what a crosshair was, right? I always assumed, right, at least in Nikke terms, when it said like affects enemy nearest to the crosshair, it meant like whoever's getting attacked, right? That just felt like common sense to me. But I never actually physically knew what a crosshair was until just a week ago, where I was making a thumbnail for Snow White and her showcase, and my friend Derpy was like, hey, why don't you put a crosshair on her? I'm like, what is that? And he's like, the target thing that like shows a little aim thing. So now that I know what that means, it doesn't really change the fact, because like now that I know what a crosshair is, it doesn't change how I see the Killer Wife, because I already knew like it's the same thing how I was thinking before actually knowing what crosshair was, right? But basically this character is more of a, I always thought of her as more of a like a Pierce character support, right? Because obviously sniper characters, right, when you enter a full burst, sniper characters I guess get a pierce damage buff, but that's only beneficial for piercing characters, right? And then this character gives herself pierce herself, right? I think her biggest thing, as everybody knew, is the cooldown of, burst skill decreased by 7 seconds when attacking 8 times. And then when you attack with a full charge 5 times, she gives all allies an attack damage buff. I thought that was the best thing about her kit, right? Hence why I have it level 10. And then her burst skill, I never found any of this thing to be like too crazy, but basically affects the enemies near to the crosshair. So whatever enemies closest to the target, like the actual cursor, whatever the crosshair is, y'all know what it is. She will deal 220% of final attack as additional damage, and then inflicts the wipeout effect on the target for 10 seconds, right? And then activates when allies' normal attacks hit a certain area of the target affected with wipeout. Affects allies. They will then have their attack buff increased by 9.97% of caster's final just caster's attack for 10 seconds if they hit the body where the wipeout is being affected, right? And then the same thing with damage dealt when attacking core, right? So you're gonna see these red circles on the enemy. If any allies hit there, then basically they're going to get these buffs from her burst skill, right? So there is that, of course. So I think the Killer Wife, again, is still one of the best burst 1 characters in the game. When I say she's a top 5, if I'm not considering Rappy 100%, I think I have No Order, Little Mermaid, Litter, the Killer Wife. Who else is the burst 1? I know I'm forgetting somebody else that's the burst 1. Rouge, I would say, and then I guess I would have to end it there because I don't know who I would give that last one to. I feel like I'd either give it to the tactical Emma, right? The tactical upgrade Emma, or I would have to give it to freaking Tia, or even Tove could get that as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and do a showcase on the Killer Wife, and let's get into this. All right, so for my first team, this is what I'm going in here with. It's the Killer Wife, Grave, Red Hood, and Asuka with Helm. Helm is there for Asuka and just general like burst generation and stuff like that. But she's mainly there for Asuka and I guess the support she does offer to the team. And then obviously when it comes to Asuka and Red Hood, they have Pierce. Well, Red Hood has Pierce the entire time. Grave also has Pierce when you use her burst skill, right? And then obviously Asuka's another character who gets Pierce, I believe, when you use her burst skill, right? For 25 seconds, right? So that's like the kind of the cool thing about it. Cause like technically I know you're on a 40-second cooldown, But like how I'm thinking, by the time Asuka uses her burst skill again after using it the first time, she's still gonna have the pierce effect. Now I'm gonna show you guys, right? So we have here's the killer wife, right? And then this wipeout thing is going onto the enemy right there because like the crosshair. The crosshair is that thing right there, right? This like target thing, that symbol in the middle, that little dot is the crosshair. Right, for the people who didn't know, obviously I reviewed this whole time, but anytime enemies attack into that or allies attack into that, they will get a buff from the killer wife. So the buffs we're looking for is kill the target, where they'll get a damage dealt buff when attacking core, and there's an attack buff, right? So we're again looking for kill the target. Let's go to Red Hood, who's attacking there. She has kill the target right here, which is this is the attack buff from kill the target. Is that the attack buff from this? It is, right? Yeah. So and then obviously I'm assuming Grave has it as well. Right, attack, kill the target right there, right? And I'm assuming Helm has it too. Like everybody gets it basically. Long story short, you attack to that circle, you get that buff, right? But remember, for I think every full charge she does, or I guess it's when you enter a full burst. Every full charge she does, every 3 full charges she does, she will gain pierce for 1 shot. But when you enter a full burst, all like allies with the sniper rifle will get the pierce damage buff. So it's technically a waste because it's only again buffing up Red Hood. It's not buffing up her. It's not buffing up her. It's buffing up you, but you don't have pierce. You know what I mean? Right? So that's why when it came to the killer wife, I never really used her because I felt like she was more of a like the characters you were supposed to use her with. It was as clear as day you were supposed to use her with Red Hood and Alice. Right? Mainly Alice because Alice was a fire character. Other than that, nobody else is a sniper rifle with pierce. That comes to my mind. That's a fire character. You get what I'm saying? But for example, here we have Grave and then boom. Asuka should still have the pierce effect, right? Which is piercing bullet. She still has it. But it's only for 7 seconds left. So it's gonna go away. Okay, it's not how I was thinking. Right? But what is her damage? Sorry? Okay. I mean, she has type advantage. So I mean she's still not beating Red Hood, but she is type advantage. But still, I feel like the killer wife is a fantastic character. I just probably, for me, even now, even after this video, I think I would only ever use her with pierce characters, right? Kind of like how I'm doing now. Or I would use her if I just needed cooldown reduction. But we have so many better characters, in my opinion, for like that cooldown reduction, that I would never use the killer wife, if that makes sense. Like I would never put the killer wife just for cooldown reduction over Rouge or over Little Mermaid. You get what I'm saying? Now if I'm fighting with a Pierce team, that's a different story. But if I'm not, then it is what it is, right? But remember when the killer wife came out, that was crazy. Like she was really crazy with the 7-second cooldown reduction because it was every like certain amount of full charges she did, and it was just insane. Right, because she was like the first character in the game to allow 40-second cooldown characters to kind of be on a 20-second cooldown, right? Like I can show you guys a crazy composition in a second. You want to see a crazy composition? I'm gonna show you guys the craziest composition ever, right? I'm gonna show you guys the absolute craziest composition to ever exist, right? I'm gonna show you guys what that looks like. Right, and you guys will see for yourself, right? First generation is too much with this team. Helm and Grave both have it. Actually, we'll run the exact same team, right? We'll run the exact same team, just switch one character off. I'll show you guys what a crazy team looks like, right? And it's so crazy to me that this is what people would consider like a crazy team, but it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's weird, but you guys will see after this, right? The killer wife, she's supposed to do additional damage, but like I hope people don't expect her to be as crazy as she is. Red Hood doing Red Hood numbers. Asuka is type advantage here, hence why she's doing a lot, and she gets the pierce effect. She doesn't have it now, but still, right? And Red Hood is always in pierce. You see where it says pierce, 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 pierce? It's crazy, right? But the killer wife is not that big of a pierce like buffer, right? If we're comparing her to other pierce buffers like Bunny Aid or Grave, or who else is a pierce buffer? Or Zwei, for example, right? The killer wife is nothing to these characters when it comes to general pierce damaging buffs. But my whole point is, other than that, like she gives a mediocre attack buff because she's not an attacker. So her 9% attack buff is not doing anything. Especially if we're scaling off of her attack. But like, yeah, she's quite crazy. I do want to see something, right? Like, okay, so this right here, I'm going to screenshot this, and we're at 2.7 billion, right? Remember that damage. I'm going to run the exact same team, but the difference is I'm going to switch out Asuka, right, for Little Mermaid. And the reason why I'm doing that is because now we have Little Mermaid and Nikke's wife, who both have this effect where they kind of help us, or 20-second characters. And Red Hood is not type advantage here, but both of these characters help 40-second cooldown characters basically spam their burst skill, right? So I want to see what this is looking like. I wonder if even without type advantage, if Red Hood was to use her burst skill every burst rotation, would Red Hood be like, you know what I'm saying? Because we do have another burst 3 on this team. So essentially, after this burst rotation, Miss Red Hood here would need to use her burst skill again, right? But the burst generation is too fast. She's still on cooldown. You see what I mean? So they went to Helm. But if I switch out Helm, right? Actually, let's switch out Helm. Let's take off Helm. Let's take off Helm. Let's take off Helm as well. This is not like a real team. This is not a real team. I'm just trying to show you guys, I guess the viability that this team offers, right? Actually, I'm gonna take you off. I'm gonna put Miss Cinderella and I'm gonna put her best friend Rouge, right? So now you have burst 1, burst 1, burst 1. We could take you off, and honestly, we could put Crown in there. And this right here just seems okay. Let's go to a stage where she's type advantage. So again, you, sorry, you go here, you go here. Sorry for the stall, y'all. Sorry for the stall, y'all. Sorry for the stall, y'all. And then DK's wife, right? And boom. 3 characters, insane cooldown reduction. Cinderella is going to be a burst 3 character every burst rotation. Now you might be like, okay, well, Zxous, is that really good? Probably not. Like, I think a burst 3 on your team. Now my thing is, if your other burst 3 on your team is a character that is essentially only doing damage on their burst skill, then this could be useful. Because you have Miss Cinderella here, who's doing more damage than any other character in the game off of a burst skill. You know what I mean? And she does have her best friend Rouge on the team. Now, Rouge is not using her burst skill, which realistically, I could use Rouge's burst skill to get more of a buff for Cinderella. Let's actually do that. I'm sorry for constantly just killing the fights before we could start anything, but we're going to cater to like DK's wife's cooldown reduction in this part of the video, right? I do want to use Rouge's burst skill with obviously Cinderella and spamming Cinderella's burst skill, and we're going to be able to have a spammable Cinderella burst skill because of not only DK's wife but because of Rouge and Little Mermaid as well. And I don't feel like DK's wife's burst skill is that crazy anywhere where we need it. Like, it's not that crazy of a burst skill where we genuinely need her burst skill. You get what I'm saying? I feel like that's the one thing that it's just, you got to realize it's not a burst skill you need. Her burst skill is just not that crazy in my opinion, right? Her best thing again is her skill 2 by far. Her second best thing I would say is her burst skill, and then her skill 1 is her third best thing, right? But for Cinderella's sake, as our main burst 1, it's good. We could go here and do this. Now, boom, boom. Cinderella has her burst skill again. Like, it's water. It's so simple. It's too easy. Cinderella has her burst skill again, like nothing happened. And it's crazy to me, right? Because we have cooldown reduction. First generation isn't that bad. But, yo, Cinderella's going crazy. Bro, I found the sauce. I found the sauce. I found the juice. I found the sauce. I found the juice. Now, this is shooting range, right? This is shooting range. I am going to go into Kraken with a similar team. Basically, this exact same team. And I'm going to fight Kraken with this type of team. If I can be a interception with this type of team, I will find it to be somewhat usable or viable, right? The thing is, obviously Cinderella is doing a lot of damage herself, but nobody else is helping her, right? My thing is Little Mermaid is quite the character, and she's a wind character. She's like Cinderella. Little Mermaid is the second strongest character on this team by far, right? And she's not type advantage or anything like that, but wherever she is type advantage, she is very, very, very powerful. So I want to go into Kraken with the Scarlet Black Shadow and DK's wife and DK's wife's effect to like allow burst 3 characters to basically spam their burst skill and stuff like that. Little Mermaid, who's also going to help with that. And then I don't necessarily need Rouge on the team, right? I could put like another burst 1 character who has cooldown reduction. I don't necessarily need Rouge, but Rouge does help. She just does, right? Or I can't think of a burst 1 character who has thing like here, for example. We need that burst skill off. What's going on here? Like, boom. That right there looked a bit iffy. I ain't gonna lie. That right there looked a bit iffy. Right? But it's okay. It's okay. This team with 1 burst 3 still did more than Red Hood and Oscar, where Oscar was type advantage. Right? And it seems like this might double it. It just might double it. Cinderella is way too powerful. She's just too strong. It's concerning to me. It is concerning to me how powerful one character is. Right? Because remember, all this damage is coming from her. And my Cinderella isn't built. And I realized that the other day. My Cinderella is not built. Right? Now, we're waiting so long to use her burst skill again. But it's okay. Luckily, these characters don't require you to like hit the last bullet or anything like that. They just need to like essentially use their burst skill. Right? Or do a full charge a certain amount of time. Right? But boom. Burst skill is ready. And then, wow. 4.1 billion to 2.7 billion with 1 burst 3 character. The fact that I got a new record with that isn't that impressive. I mean, this is not a viable team, but let's go into Kraken with the same comp basically. Now this right here is I don't even know if we somehow could do this with this team, like stage 7, right? Because like you cannot tell me anomaly interception. Like if you could get stage 7 with this team, that's crazy. Right? But it does feel like I could. I don't know why. I have this like gut feeling I can do it. Right? I just have this gut feeling I could do it. Little Mermaid, we're using her burst skill. I decided to go with hers. Obviously, we have Crown on the team who don't have to worry about. And it's Scarlet. Scarlet is going to be using her burst skill every single burst rotation. Without fail, though, because of DK the wife and Miss thing. Right? So that's what you also got to remember. Right? There's only so much Scarlet could do by herself, though. That's what I need you guys to understand. There's only so much that one character could do by her lonesome. But there you guys go. Scarlet used her burst skill again. No problems, no wait time, no nothing. Right? But you have burst generation from Little Mermaid herself. Decent burst generation from, I want to say, these other two. And then obviously with, you know. I mean, the burst generation, it could be a lot better. I'm not even going to lie to you. We have no healers on this team, though. That's the one thing. We have absolutely no healers on this team, but it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. We're at stage 4 before we hit the 2-minute mark, so I'm happy about that. And because we are controlling with Little Mermaid, we don't have to necessarily worry too much. I feel like DK their wife's burst skill would actually be useful here as well. Especially with like, you know, damage when attacking the core or whatever. That would be very helpful as well. We're about to be at stage 5 with this composition. There's no way I'd be like actual content in the game with this team, right? Like I think people completely like just forgot that you could do this technically. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to cover here because thing is gonna die. Okay, I had to cover there. We had no shield on Rouge. We had no shield on Rouge. Now this right here is where I want to say becomes a bit of an issue. We're probably gonna get to stage 6 with this team. It's because we were on a full burst. We were on a full burst. I'm redoing that. We were on a full burst and they were attacking where she attacked. They were attacked because we were on a full burst. When you're in a full burst, they kind of have focus fire, right? Or they attack regardless, right? So that's the only reason why we died right there. But we're definitely gonna get stage 6 with this team, guaranteed, which is still very impressive, right? With 1 burst 3 character, like regardless if it is technically the best DPS for this content, with 1 burst 3 character to get that high in content is quite crazy. And all I'm doing here, and we could be like way higher if we had some type of healer on this team, because remember, we're losing a lot of damage for not having a healer, right? Because remember, Helm helped out Miss Crown, right? That was Helm's thing. Helm helped out Crown big time. We lost our shield there, but it's okay, because we got this, right? But yeah, having a heal on Crown is very, very big. It's really huge, because we get like a big attack damage buff, and kind of permanent if you had like a consistent healer. But I can't think of a healer who has cooldown reduction. I don't think we have a healer in this game that has cooldown reduction, right? Not whatsoever, right? So there is that, but hey, it's okay. We're about to get our burst skill again, which that's fine. And can we break this part? That part looked like it took a bit to destroy, I'm not gonna lie. Here, we don't have a shield again. It's okay. We're just gonna have to cover. Right? Only Rouge got hit there. I don't want to use our burst skill here, though. Right? I still did. Okay, it's fine. Can I break this? Okay, good. No! Oh, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you genuinely serious right now? That's so unfortunate. Wow. We could die there. I'm so mad about that. I'm so mad about that. We literally was reloading. We were reloading. We were reloading. We were reloading. Are you serious right now? Because we were reloading? Forget your resilience cube. Forget your resilience cube. I feel like we could do it. You know what? Little Mermaid is very helpful with her burst skill. Attack damage, attack to herself, and a reload buff. Very useful. An attack buff to all allies and HP, which again could be very useful. It's all useful. But who would I say has the best one here for their burst skill? Would I say it's this? Probably. I guess so. I guess we'll stick with it. I'm so mad there. I want to go one more time. If I can't do it with this right here, and again, this is not how you use D killer waves. Like, this is the most jank showcase you guys are probably going to see for D killer waves, because this is definitely not how you're supposed to use D killer waves. But I'm just trying to remind people that you could do this, right? Like, you can do this. I think maybe after this we'll do one more team with like more of a viable D killer wave team. But after that, then we'll wrap up the video. But because I don't want you guys like to think this was the video, right? But I do want to see if we could do it, because if we could do it, I feel like that's a feat. If I could get even if it's like barely, if I can get stage 7 with a team like this, right? If somehow you have nothing else to use, then it is doable, right? I guess you could use this team. Oh, okay, I covered there. I literally covered there because I seen like our burst generation. I feel like if we come off of thing, right? Right? They're not attacking where she's attacking, are they? Right where the thing is. That's the only thing. I feel like our burst generation could be way better. It's okay though. I'm not tripping. Rouge, you're taking way too much damage, hun. Okay. Way too much damage. She's taking way too much damage. I think we're good though. We have decent burst generation. Like, it's not the best, but it's not like as bad as some other comps. Where I've seen some really bad burst generation. It's not as bad as like a lot of other compositions. Like, okay, so here I think we're gonna lose our shield. We lost it already on one character. Okay, it's fine. I'm coming off of this. And I'm coming off of this. I do not want to use a single burst skill. We could use that though. There we go. Okay, okay. I think we got it. Okay, we have a minute left and we're still on stage 5. I think we're gonna get stage 6. I think we're gonna get stage 6. Right? Unless Scarlet literally just clutches up right now for us, we're getting stage 6. Unless she clutches up for us right now, we're getting stage 6. Guaranteed. Right? But Scarlet really would need to clutch up for us big time here. Like big time. 40 seconds left on the clock. We're still not on stage 6. Come on, lock in. Come on. Let's lock in. 40 seconds left on the clock. Stage 6. In 30 seconds, could we get to stage 7 in 30 seconds? Oh, that's so crazy to think about. Can we get to... Can we? Oh my god, can we get to stage 7 in 30 seconds? That's gonna be a crazy feat. I'm genuinely so serious. If we could get to 30... oh, we're halfway at stage 6. We're halfway at stage 6. We need our burst skill now. We're halfway. 10 seconds left. We're not doing it. Ah, she's on a cooldown. We're not doing... Okay. 10 seconds left. Scarlet. I'm turning my eyes. I'm turning around. I don't care what happens next. Oh, no. I need to get rid of this. We're dead. So close. So close. We were genuinely so close. Oh my god, we were so close. I feel like we could have done it. I genuinely feel like we could have done it. That's quite the feat though, still. Stage 6, right? If you have no other team, some god-awful how, if you don't have no other team, the max you would get on Kraken would literally be this right here, right? You're still getting all of these rewards, which I still feel like is not that bad. You're only getting 2 off. It's only 2 off, right? So obviously there's a big difference from stage 5 to stage 6, but not that big of a difference from stage 6 to stage 7. But obviously that extra 2 adds up. You get what I'm saying? That missing 2 adds up the more and more you get. But 27 to 35 is a big jump, right? 56%, 58%, like it's only a 2% difference, but still, it still does add up if you're not getting it. But yeah, still, this team was able to do something like that. Quite crazy. Let's go with one more team for DK Wife and wrap up the video. All right, so with this team, I'm just going in with essentially Monstrous Trio without Litter, or without Little Mermaid. And we are going to have Alice on the team because both Red Hood and Alice are the 2 characters in the game who are snipers that have pierced essentially the entire game. Right? Alice loses it if she falls below a certain percent of HP, but when she falls below that, she's just gonna constantly heal till she gets back to that percent. So she basically has it permanent. Right? And burst generation obviously with this team is phenomenal because like 1, 2, 3, 4, you have 4 snipers on the team, right? You have 4 snipers on the team, and Red Hood's burst generation alone is just insane, especially if you're using her. So I feel like Red Hood is more so carrying, and there isn't really that much of a deficit in this. Right? Because I think we're only like 100,000 power down, but like, remember, she is buffing up Alice, right? I'm never going to use Alice the way you're supposed to use her, where you spam click or whatever. I just can't do it. Don't die on me, DK Wife. Even if you do, Red Hood will come and play. Literally, that's the good thing about Red Hood. She will come and play somehow, right? But, hey, I mean, I think DK Wife is a decent character. I think there's just so many better characters, but like I just felt like I've been like kind of neglecting the character's existence for ever since she dropped. Realistically, like you literally never see me. Yeah, she's a meta character, and you guys know me. I talk about meta characters non-stop, so you guys probably notice yourself. Like I never talk about DK Wife, but I'm always talking about Red Hood. I'm always talking about Crown. I'm always talking about Little Mermaid. Always talking about Rappy. Always talking about Cinderella. You know what I'm saying? But DK Wife, you deserve that respect. Not only are you, you know, I think DK Wife is a fan favorite. I think it's safe to say everyone loves DK Wife. Like, everyone loves D. Excusez-moi? What did I just say? Everyone likes DK Wife, the unit. I rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's take a look and see what we got going on here. Right? Yeah. Full burst, they get a buff. I'd like it. Do I feel like she could have done more? I think that's my main thing with DK Wife. I think genuinely my biggest problem with DK Wife, and it's not even that big of a problem, but I feel like my personal issue of like why I would never use her is because I feel like she doesn't do that much compared to your other options, right? Like I feel like obviously Rouge is like the best comparison because Little Mermaid is another level, right? But Rouge, even though Rouge caters to one specific character, which is realistically Cinderella, it's a massive, like massive, like contribution she has towards Cinderella. Where I feel like DK Wife to the Pierce characters, like 11% Pierce damage when you enter a full burst. I feel like for only these 2 characters specifically, then you're good, right? But other than that, then no. But Rouge is like, I don't know. Does that make sense? You guys get what I'm trying to say? Let me know if you guys understand what I'm trying to say in the comments down below. Maybe you don't, maybe you do, right? I do think that thing where like they do more damage if they attack within the red circle, I think it's cool, but it's really realistically no different than like her just giving everybody that buff. Or maybe I feel like if it wasn't just a sniper thing, right? I feel like if it wasn't just a sniper thing, because then that kind of screams that they catered her towards more Alice, just because Alice is a fire character. But we're getting through stages, right? But again, the deficit's not that crazy. I'll do one more stage and then I'll kind of just like wrap up the video. But I don't know. Show some love to DK Wife because I feel like, you know, literally she's gotten none. I know she just got a Kacha costume skin. I was not buying it. I thought it was like, I think the animation is fire, but I think DK Wife is like as a police officer with her, like I guess her in a bra and her boobies out. Like, come on, you can't sell that to me. You generally can't sell that to me. You're not gonna get far with me. You're not. Respectfully, Nikke, you're not gonna get far with me and selling these characters and their body parts. You're not, right? But for the people who did get it, I am jealous that you have it. I can't spend that money for it. I can't spend that money for it. But the people who got it, hey, you lucky bastards. But it's okay, right? My thing is as well, right? If you guys notice, there's that crosshair thing. She just put it on a random enemy, right? And then after that enemy's deleted, you can't put it back on nobody. So that's where I feel like she's, again, that's like more of like a boss only thing, right? Because with mobs, then that becomes a problem. But then you're not getting that buff, right? I mean, you technically are because it lasts for 10 seconds. But again, it's more of like a, it's hard to explain. It's more of like a boss type character, in my opinion. But yeah. Either way, you guys let me know what you think about the Killer Wife. Do you guys still use her till this day? I think a lot of people do, obviously, especially solo raid, union raid. I know people use it. That's like the only places I would ever use this character, right? It's not a character I've neglected. It's just a character I never talk about, right? I use the Killer Wife quite often, especially for solo raid and union raid. But you guys let me know what you think about Miss D Killer Wife. Do you guys use her? Do you guys, like, what do you guys think of her? Do you guys feel like she's falling off? Do you guys feel like she's still very good? Because I still think she's a top 5 verse 1, right? But there's not many characters for her to really compete with, in my opinion. Like, you have Little Mermaid. If we're not counting Rappy, you have Little Mermaid, and Rouge, right? After that, then it's really like, okay, you have what? Tia, Emma, Tactical Upgrade. It's really up to you who you have in that top 5, but I think the Killer Wife is a fantastic character regardless. There are some things I don't like, which is like she's catered to sniper pierce characters. And her, I feel like the buffs, the buffs she gives, the percentages are, they're insanely low. I feel like the numbers, right? Other than that, I think the character is great. But it's your boy Zxous, I'm out. Subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video. And again, Gotcha Wear has merch out now, so links in the description. I'm out, peace.